We take a look at the reported Randy Orton backstage drama. Elsewhere, a WWE superstar has re-signed with the company and a TNA star makes their NXT debut. It's all in the wrestling news. Hello everybody, it's Jack and Adam here with the Wednesday morning wrestling news. We're going to start by talking about this Randy Orton backstage drama.
We certainly are. This year's SummerSlam, Logan Paul was of course accompanied by Cleveland native and living icon MGK, aka Machine Gun Kelly, for his match with LA Knight. He's been chatting away with Logan Paul on the Impulsive podcast.
And MGK recalled that he ran into Randy Orton and confronted him and said, I was in the ring, just coming to Logan to see what we could work out for the show. I saw Randy Orton. I remember seeing Randy Orton talk S word about me. There's a point where I was like, I'm going to practice a new version of myself. 3, 2, 1, F that. Hey man, F you. It doesn't sound as authentic coming from me at all.
So I'm going to practice a new version of myself. Right, 3, 2, 1. Forget that. Yeah. Hey, Randy. Screw you, you massive 6'4". Oh yeah.
It sounded authentic.
I'm part of the entourage. You've not seen me.
Yeah. He continues. He says, "All my boys were sitting there. Is this real? I don't know what's happening. The amount of people that pin me as the aggressor in every situation I'm in are so wrong." Now, I would argue that in telling that story, he does kind of come across like the aggressor.
He does, but they've had beef in the past, haven't they? Randy's taken little shots at him on social media regarding like the wedding proposal. He's on Instagram. He's taken it's just a few throwaway bits here and there. Randy Orton has since replied to MSK, it's not MSK, MGK's claim with a simple Pinocchio emoji, basically insinuating that he might be telling porkies.
Kevin Owens has also replied. He's tweeted side-by-side pictures of himself and Randy, and then Logan Paul and MGK, because him and Randy are aligned currently. They're the friends of Cody Rhodes, and maybe this is building towards a storyline more than... It's hard to tell, because I've heard multiple stories that MGK... I'm not trying to throw anything at anybody here, but
careful.
I've heard multiple stories that MGK can be quite an uncompromising individual to talk to. Oh. Quite a brat sort of kind of guy, yeah.
I'm not going to rise to that. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I don't know. I think that it's a match that would have a lot of mainstream appeal, isn't it? If they did a tag match at maybe SummerSlam.
Right. Yeah.
Survivor Series, then I think that's a possibility. If there's one person you probably don't want to mess with backstage, it's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I know he's getting on a little bit and all that, but he's massive and he's twice the size that he was like 3 years ago.
I wouldn't want to even, not just because of the physical threat he would pose, but because of the threat to my ego. The fact that all he's replied with is just a Pinocchio emoji. He's above all this. He doesn't care.
Him. He's completely bodied him.
He has. He's too cool.
He is. He's incredibly cool, isn't he?
Cool.
And you say about the physical stuff, but you're right. It's more than that, because Randy Orton has a history of home invasions, burning down properties. Don't mess with him. What are you playing at, Machine Gun?
Yeah, he'll go to that dark place. Elsewhere, it was NXT last night, and we saw TNA Wrestling star Rosemary make her NXT debut, taking on Kalani Jordan in a match on last night's episode, but we kind of knew this ahead of time because it was taped last week. Kalani Jordan beat Rosemary, but in a post-match angle, the Performance Center was taken over by kind of spooky clips on the video screen, and then it was revealed to be that dastardly Wendy Chu behind the chaos. She's evil
horrible woman. I think this is like perfect placement for Rosemary. She thrives in this kind of
character.
Yeah, she's awesome as well. She's really, really great. I'm really glad to have seen her pop up on NXT. Tom recently chatted to her on Desert Island Graps as well, and she seems like a lovely woman. I'm excited to see where this goes, actually. With the NXT stuff, I can like some of it, the more out there side of stuff. I doesn't really appeal to me that much, but I watched this and I was like, oh, you know what, that's cool. I think it's because I'm a Rosemary fan. I really like her stuff.
Wendy Chu would go on to attack Kalani Jordan. She's very much like the next in line for the shot at the Women's North American Championship, presumably at No Mercy. That may have even been confirmed actually at the time of recording, but I'll have to double check that. And Rosemary looked on seemingly impressed. It's another continuation of this working relationship between NXT and TNA, one that many people have been quick to characterize as one-sided.
Yeah, you know what? I've kind of made that claim as well. I think it's like they are they're picking the cream of the crop from TNA, and then they're sending, I don't know, they've sent a few like decent enough names over there, but I would argue that the ones that they've had from TNA over to NXT are bigger draws than the ones they've been sending from NXT to TNA. But you know what? A lot of people are talking about TNA right now, and maybe it's not just about the stars that they're being sent from NXT. Maybe it's just about sort of being more on people's radar generally.
Being in the conversation again.
It'd be nice if they sent over some bigger names for sure, but people are talking about TNA and they're getting decent views, at least on online. They're doing good views with some of their more recent stuff.
They've got a big show coming up as well. I believe it's Emergence coming up this week, which will feature Nick Nemeth against Josh Alexander in a big long Iron Man match.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, hopefully
that's going to be really great. Like Josh Alexander, he's the one that I want to see turn up on NXT TV the most. I think he's the bollocks. He's got
history with Ethan Page as well.
Oh, he does.
He was current champion. Oh no, Henry could be in trouble because
Henry's not winning. Not yet. No, they didn't even put the TNA strap on him.
No.
Suckers.
No. Elsewhere, an existing WWE superstar has re-signed with the company. A new report has revealed that WWE have re-signed Humberto Carrillo of Los Garza, that's his tag team with Angel Garza, and with Legado del Fantasma, their collective stable under the helm of Santos Escobar. Fightful Select have stated that Humberto Carrillo had re-signed with WWE, reportedly re-signing around the same time as his tag partner. So we kind of knew about Angel already. Humberto's now in the fold once again. There were concerns that they would leave around the time that it was talked about, like their contracts were coming up and everything, because although they are featured on SmackDown and everything, you could argue that they haven't been used as prominently as maybe they could have been.
Yeah, you could, but they're not that interesting either, are they?
Hey now. Now, do you remember?
I like him. Solid hand, right? Both of them.
Yeah,
both of them
100%.
Really, really decent wrestlers. They've never clicked for me.
I would argue that they're two who've kind of are yet to benefit from Triple H taking over as head of creative from Vince, because before they were put together in the tag team, Humberto was kind of a white meat babyface, but he was good at it. Angel Garza, I remember, was being talked about during his NXT run as like the second coming of Eddie Guerrero, because he was great in the ring, as you say, but he had like the charisma, the sleaziness. Then he kind of just became more, it was kind of used for comedy, and now he's in this tag team who are yet to really go somewhere with it. So I'd be interested to see if this new re-signing of a contract leads to better things in their future.
Yeah,
hopefully.
They're just a lower card tag team that you're going to get a decent match out, and you're going to enjoy the match and everything. It's the stuff that surrounds it that's never worked for me so much. Yeah. They were all over TV. Pandemic era WWE TV. They were everywhere. They were really, really featured. So I think you're totally right that Triple H hasn't utilised them in the way that maybe he should have done, but I'm not complaining.
I know you always need in like terms of roster structure or whatever, you always need people to take the pinfalls. Yep. You always need people to lose, and I get that. But they are two that I would maybe like to see just something a little bit different from them. But we'll have to wait and see. It doesn't help that me and Ross consistently refer to them as the shagging cousins.
No, you buried them.
Yeah, we buried them. Elsewhere, so WrestleVotes have reported a little bit on the Royal Rumble site fees for the upcoming show.
I found this really interesting. So this is the Royal Rumble 2023 site fees have come out.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was the upcoming. Right, okay. This is emergent.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talk about WWE going to cities, especially internationally, and being paid heaps and heaps of money to bring prominent WWE shows to those cities. The city of San Antonio gave WWE more than $500,000 in value, including $250K cash site fee to bring that Royal Rumble event to the Alamo Dome, according to government records obtained by WrestleNomics. The exact value is estimated ahead of time to be $546,710.74. So actually, I found this interesting because it's not as much as some of the figures that are thrown around, especially with those international ones. It typically is like seven figures of the reports because it brings such a huge amount of money into the local economy. So $500,000, it's not to be sniffed at or anything, but they would have eclipsed that amount in just the revenue that WWE bring in while being in their location, in their city.
Are you saying this is one of the possible reasons why Triple H is so keen to hold shows in international locations?
Oh, for sure.
Right, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think it makes the brand look good as well. They're all over and they're selling out venues worldwide now.
Yeah, the thing for me that tipped it was when we saw the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and he talked about holding a future WrestleMania in London as kind of like a like a policy, like a perk of his to re-elect him. Basically, it was like, oh, I'm aiming to hold a WWE event in London as well. And I thought, oh wow, that WWE's now become such a brand internationally that it's like, we'll hold the Olympics here. Not on quite that level, but like it's definitely something that cities are using as a status symbol or something almost.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's an impressive get for that city, isn't it? I think it's really, really exciting, personally. I'm loving the international pay-per-views because the crowds are just bonkers. I think as a viewer, even if you're not interested in the financial side of things, it's a really exciting time to be watching WWE premium live events because those shows feel completely different. Like we've got Berlin coming up, right? It's not the strongest card in the world, if we're honest.
Yeah.
It's decent, but it's a pretty predictable card.
It's a B pay-per-view card.
It really is. But I'm really hyped for it because I don't know what the German fans are going to be like, but I would predict that they're going to be super hot.
Yes, and it always shines a spotlight on slightly different superstars, maybe those who are linked to the location in particular. So we saw Alba and Isla get a big reaction in Scotland, and Piper Niven. We saw AJ Styles get a huge reaction in France.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure that like Gunther, etc., will get such a big reaction here. Maybe Ludwig Kaiser, etc.
There's a few omissions, isn't there, as far as like German talent?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
They need Pascal Spolter in there.
I don't think Ilya's on the card. I know he's like sort of half Russian, half German, but he built his fan base in Germany. So yeah, very interesting. Wait a minute, who did you say?
Pascal Spolter.
Who's that?
You don't remember Pascal?
What
about Cash Money Erkan?
Oh, Cash Money Erkan.
No, two different people.
No, I remember. Yeah, but I remember Cash Money Erkan, of course. Yeah. And finally, there's been a rumor killer on the story that came out initially saying that the Performance Center was going to potentially switch locations.
Yeah, according to WrestleVotes, they tweeted yesterday, according to a source, there was an all-employee meeting today at WWE HQ in Stamford, hosted by Mark Shapiro. They were told that the biggest news to come out of the meeting is that WWE's Performance Center will be moving to Las Vegas in the near future. However, this was followed up a few hours later by tweets both from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful and Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who posted these conflicting reports. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted, sources at the top of WWE and TKO tell Fightful that they are not planning to move the Performance Center to Las Vegas. Meltzer following up, WWE is denying the story and said Shapiro talked about growth of Vegas and the headquarters there at some point, but not moving soon and no definite plan. I found this one a bit of a confusing one because the Performance Center, they're very, very proud of. It's like a custom built building for this exact purpose.
It's like not a pop-up.
And it's a really, really impressive thing. And they're very, very keen to show it off. And everybody's there. Orlando, as far as North America goes, is like the home of WWE centric, but a lot of wrestling takes place in Orlando.
So many of the wrestlers live or are based.
So that took me by surprise. It makes more sense that they would want some kind of business center or a different headquarters in Las Vegas, just to be there near UFC and all of the stuff that they do.
Thank you very much for watching this news video. I believe we'll be back later on today with more news as and when it emerges, and you can check out all the stories at cultaholic.com as well. I've been Jack, this has been Adam. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below, and we'll see you soon.